Whether you're watching us on thisislittube.com or YouTube, this is Third and Goal, and we're here for a brand new episode. Let's do this. So, what are we talking about tonight?
Everything.
Every goddamn thing.
The Jaguars are first on tap with Leonard Fournette getting suspended for fighting Shaq Lawson, which went all the way back into basically the locker room when he was ejected. So there was that, but probably more importantly, can we talk about Blake Bortles getting benched?
Hallelujah!
It's about damn time.
Hallelujah! Bobby Blake Bortles. I've been calling for a long time. I'm so glad he's on such a trash-ass quarterback. Yeah. I don't rank quarterbacks, but he's probably the 32nd ranked quarterback in the league. He gets lucky on some of his passes. Yeah. He has the athleticism. I don't think he has the football IQ to do what he's supposed to be doing. He makes a lot of shitty decisions on the field. So I'm glad that he's off the field for now, but I just have a feeling we haven't seen the last of him.
But this is funny to me. Your boy Jalen Ramsey, hyped him up. Bobby is who he is. And look what happens when you talk shit.
Jalen, remember me from a few weeks ago.
If he's watching LitTube.
You're probably not, but it's okay. If you are, like and subscribe, my guy. But let me talk to you real quick. Remember when you called Josh Allen trash? Did Josh Allen get benched this week? No. Blake Bortles did. Did Josh Allen light you up on 8 passes and go deep for about 80 yards on you while getting hit in the throat in the pocket? Yeah, but, he's trash, just like every other quarterback in the league is trash, according to you. Shut up. That's just shut up. Until your team wins a game and your quarterback actually puts up stats that are semi-respectable, you're not allowed to talk no more. You can't talk to me for shit. I don't want to hear it anymore, Jalen. I don't. I'm tired of you. You go in your interviews now you want to be humble and shit, but GQ magazine, everybody was trash or decent at best. Get out of here.
But let's talk about the Jags. I mean, you have the Bills, who are single-handedly probably one of the worst teams in the NFL this year.
Right.
And to go in and beat the Jags, I mean, that
vaunted defense, right?
Wow.
I mean, does it speak more on the Bills?
That's what I'm saying. Is this shade on the Jags? Or is this maybe the Bills have something?
I just think the Jags, I won't say they're falling apart, but I'm going to say they're eating their first piece of humble pie. Because you get to the playoffs one year, you get to the AFC Championship game, cool, that's great. But you got to do stuff to keep that momentum where it's at. And the thing is, I think they rode the high and tried to keep the high into the season, and everybody started knocking them down.
And the thing about them, I don't even think they lost that many players at all, if any.
Nope.
I mean, they're virtually the same team that, not going to lie, beat the crap out of the Ravens in London.
Yep.
That was
Pittsburgh. They beat our ass
twice. It was
twice.
in Pittsburgh, talking about shit. We going to the Super Bowl
twice.
But so, what is going on in Jacksonville? Exactly what is going on?
I will say now, I think the record's 3-7, 3-8, roundabout. I could be wrong.
I mean, there's no way to bounce back at this point.
There's no way. I'm not saying tank the season and get a quarterback, but it's obviously over. Houston has that division on lockdown, and the Colts are creeping up in second right now.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just going to say better luck next year. You have a good core of players. So hopefully, maybe they're one piece away. Maybe they're honestly a quarterback away.
Yeah.
They're a quarterback away. You get a person who's semi-capable. Hate to say Eli Manning because he ain't going to be in Giants next year. There's a few options, I think. So that's my take. They're just going to be shitty this year.
Well, hold on a second, though. Let's see what Cody Kessler can do. I mean, this is a guy that last year when he was playing on the Browns, or was it the year before? I mean, I forget when this guy was last playing for the Browns, honestly. But I remember he didn't do that bad. I mean, he was a respectable quarterback when he was playing, but I'm interested to see what he's going to do these final couple weeks, if he'll make a case for maybe them not forcing the draft pick of a quarterback. But honestly, I think if you're the Jags, you're looking at the draft and saying, we got to get an impact player, whether it's a quarterback or someone else.
Right.
Because this team, I think last year was probably just like the high end of what they could do with the roster they had, and now we're seeing the low end.
Right.
Plus, you had a lot of inconsistencies this year with Fournette not always being on the field and things like that. So they had a lot of things hurting them, but I would agree that Bortles was never really the answer for them.
Exactly. I mean, again, definitely a team in need of a quarterback. I just don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, but Humble pie.
That's all I'm gonna say. Is humble pie. we all got to take our L's and our lumps sometimes.
I think it's one of those things, and I believe in karma a little bit. I think if Jalen hadn't gone off in GQ at the beginning of the season,
I think that was
they may have a better shot at.
That was it.
Would have had a better shot.
If you show a little bit of respect in this league, it'll get you a long way.
And that's my thing. Like he's what in his third year? Or something like
you start talking about everybody's quarterback.
Wow.
Like you talk about everybody's quarterback, and then all the quarterbacks you talked about have beat your ass this year. I really think that's your words coming back to haunt you.
Yeah, exactly.
So just shut up and play, bro. I hope it gets better for you because I don't like lighting you up every week, but just shut up and play the year out, man.
And now we go back to Ohio. What the hell is going on in Ohio?
I love Ohio.
Ohio
is
wild.
Interesting.
Oh my god. Oh man, Ohio is just. Who would have thought the Browns of all teams,
I
right?
called it.
Who would have thought they would flip the culture?
I called it. I called them a 5-win team at the beginning of this year, and they're already at 4.
Here they are.
And the thing with them was, I was skeptical.
They're 4.5, by the way.
4.5. Y'all still lost. But anyway, I was skeptical on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Baker has proved me completely wrong. Baker has come in and he shifted the culture and brought the energy that they've probably been looking for the past 20 years at the quarterback position. I'm not going to crown him the GOAT yet, but he's making GOAT-like strides. Also, you can tell with the coaching change, I think we're getting Hugh Jackson the hell out of there. Granted, he went 2 hours away to the other side of Ohio, which I don't fucking understand either.
No,
I really think that helped too because I think that some of the players were down. Like if Hugh Jackson's here, we're still going to lose. Sometimes you have to shake up that room a little bit, make some changes, and they're doing all the right things. The defense is playing well. Demarius Randall with the pettiest move of the year. God, I love that. But I'm on Baker right now, bro. I had him at 5 wins. I might actually boost it to 6 or 7 at the rate they're going now.
Going back to the pettiest move, let's go back to that actually. Let's go back to that. Let's roll it.
Keep shooting them down, air ball. Watch out, little bitch. Watch out, little bitch. Watch out, little bitch.
Demarius Randall.
Amazing.
I mean, come on. How? That is like the pettiest shit I've ever seen. Because the interception, here you go.
And hand it to your old coach.
Like bro.
How? That was the top 5 most disrespectful shit I've ever seen in the NFL.
I've never seen something so bad.
And I laughed.
And for him to catch it right where he was. I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh.
That was fake.
That was made fake. That was made to be, and I loved every bit of it. Hugh Jackson what could he say at that point? You gonna push your old teammate, your old, pretty much who you coached away? No, you got to take that L, bro. That shit was funny as hell. It popped on my phone. I hollered laughing in my room. It was incredible. But I'm on the Browns right now. As far as the Bengals,
they're done.
They're done. Forking them, done. I don't care how bad they beat the Ravens. I don't care how lucky they got against Atlanta. I don't care about any of their wins. They are done.
Yeah, they're
done.
Well, I think I warned Gerald about this early on in the year when the Bengals had a hot start. I was like, well, wait for it. They will come back to being mediocre.
Yeah, you said
they're still the Bengals.
Now Andy Dalton's on injury reserve. So wait, Leonard Fournette's out next week. Andy Dalton's in injury reserve. The trade master in our league is probably out of the playoffs. Yeah, Sean, I'm talking to you, bro.
Womp womp. But, the Bengals, who's their backup? Jeff Driscoll? I Googled it. I don't know who the hell it is.
In fact, I don't even know the hell that is.
Dude, y'all see, your season's done. They need to go ahead and just, if they want to do something right, do what the Browns are doing and notice their culture shift. Maybe use time to clean houses. Marvin Lewis has been an 8-8 king. He's like the new Jeff Fisher. That's pretty much it.
And the thing about it is, I have no idea how this guy still has a job of all people.
No idea.
What? Does he have nudes of the owner's wife or something?
He has to have some type of blackmail.
What on the back end does this guy have that has kept his job? I don't get it.
If he's not out at the end of the year, I'm going to have several questions. They need to tear that thing down from the top to the bottom, and it has to go.
I mean, it's one thing if you gave him a John Gruden 10-year deal, and you're like, we're just going to ride out this contract regardless, but. It's not even that type of situation. You've had this guy for a long time.
There's been 1-year extensions over and over again. Next year's the year. Next year's the year. Next year's the year. Then they get in the playoffs and somehow blow it against us. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Bengals, but tear it down, throw it out. I mean, the best player on there is AJ Green when healthy. he would stay. I do like their running back situation is pretty good, but the rest of it,
nah, it's just trash.
Tear it down, bro.
Just absolute trash.
But on to one of the non-trash teams that nobody is talking about. Chicago Bears, bro.
The most underrated team in the NFL right now. Dude, they won without Mitch Trubisky.
I'm afraid of Chicago.
Like, they're dangerous. And with the way the Green Bay Packers are looking, I mean, I think they can handle the Minnesota Vikings.
Easily. That's not even a question.
Wow, the Bears resurgence, and nobody's talking about, we were talking about it this morning. Nobody is talking about the Chicago Bears and how good they're playing. And even better when Mitch Trubisky's in.
They're probably one of the most silent, complete teams in the league. If you go from top to bottom, from secondary, linebacker, D-line, offensive line is actually holding up defense decently. They got 2 good running backs, good tight end, decent receiver core. Mitch ain't turned the ball over, and I think they're 8-3.
Yeah. I mean, and they're on poise. They could win out. I'm not sure 100% what their schedule is like. It's not right in front of me, but
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Balanced,
the way they're playing.
They stay balanced. The North is on lockdown. It's going through Chicago. And you bring some of them teams up there, if they have to play in the cold, they're going to get a rude awakening.
You're in Chicago.
They could be a surprise upset on some people, but I'm not going to sell them too high. But right now, they're solid. So do we start
throwing them in the conversation for potential NFC champion? Between them, the Saints.
I mean, they are starting to look like the Jaguars of last year, basically.
There you go.
I mean, they're basically this year's Jaguars.
Yeah, that's true.
They're really
but I feel like everybody was talking about the Jags last year. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, when they started hot.
Yeah, true.
And nobody's giving the Bears anything.
No.
Like, nobody's really talking about them. I don't think they could go toe-to-toe with the big boys yet.
You don't think so?
They ain't touching the Rams.
Well, first of all, you need to get Trubisky back on the field. I mean,
that's
yes,
major.
You did go with the backup quarterback, but it was the Lions.
Yeah.
Like, it's the fucking Lions.
True.
Like,
no, Ziggy Ansah still put up a record day. Did you hear about that?
That was ridiculous.
8 sacks.
I don't know what
it was. And, this is a guy that has been injured for the last, 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. To have a record day. But the fact that he had a record day and they still lost.
That shows you how shitty the Lions truly are. But, yeah, if Mitch comes back healthy... I mean, they'll give a few people some problems.
See, it's funny, and I go back 2 years, actually, to when we first started. Or maybe it was last year. I'm trying to remember. Deshaun Watson, Mitch Trubisky got drafted at the same time. Justin puts his article out blasting Deshaun Watson, toting how good Mitch Trubisky is, this and that. Got a lot of hate on the internet. Oh my God! I was like when we first began, and people were showing us, it's what the fuck?
Yeah.
And people are mad at Justin.
And no shade, Deshaun Watson's balling out this year, but right now I'm taking Mitch over Deshaun.
Yeah, I mean Justin was right at least on the Mitch. I mean you're definitely wrong on Deshaun, by the way.
I mean, I don't really remember touting Mitch.
Oh, bullshit.
I mean, I think it was more
look. We can pull up the article.
I think it was more Pat Mahomes and Baker Mayfield than anything else. But I mean,
I remember the article. It was a long expose on Deshaun Watson is putting my blood. It's like Mitch Trubisky's the better quarterback. Well, I mean,
we'll see what happens.
I'm
gonna keep watching.
I'm gonna keep watching now. Now we talked about the title. We did last week. We did call it a close to our pick show. But I can't do it without the picks. So we are going to talk about our 3 teams and the top 2 games other than that. So let's start with game number 1. The Ravens travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. And we're not doing picks against the spread. We're just talking about it. Who you got?
Respectfully.
This breaks his heart.
It's not breaking my heart. Respectfully, I'm taking Atlanta.
Oh, fuck you. Are you serious? Oh, God.
Okay. Hear me out. I want to hear it. Hear me out. I really think Atlanta's offense will give you guys a few more problems than some of the other offenses you've gone up against. I'm not going to even factor in Lamar Jackson because we've had this discussion, and you know how I feel. But I think Atlanta right now has the better offense. They'll be able to put more points up on you guys than Lamar Jackson can't keep up with. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
But I do think it's going to be a better game than people are expecting. Basically because you have the threat of Lamar Jackson. It's opened up the run game. It's opened up a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to just say Atlanta with the sweep, but I think it'll be a 3-point game, one way or the other. The one thing is Lamar Jackson isn't really protecting the ball too much. Got a lot of turnovers early. He's gotten 2 fumbles back. He's had some interceptions look a little goofy. And I'm afraid somebody's going to clock his ass if he gets caught running in the open field. I don't want to see anything happen to him. So hopefully he works on some of his mechanics and stuff. He's able to deliver the ball. He'll be good. But I don't like the fact of rushing him in. And I do think that this whole Joe Flacco hip injury is some bullshit. And they're just using it as a scapegoat to keep Lamar Jackson in, to appease the fans, because we all know how the Baltimore fans feel about Joe Flacco. That's all I'm saying. But Justin, looking at me like I'm crazy?
I think this is actually a really hard game to project. I think there's a lot of different ways this could play out. You know, I could see maybe Lamar Jackson and the Ravens running backs running all over this defense. I could see maybe the Falcons actually coming up with a decent game plan to prevent that. I mean, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but like I said, it's hard to predict, but I tend to fade the Ravens when they play away, so I'll say Falcons win this.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens because I honestly think that the defense, I mean, like you said, it's going to be a close game, but my thing is I think our defense is better than their offense. I think so. Right now, looking at how the Falcons have been playing the last few weeks, I don't have faith in the Falcons. Now, here's the scary part, and this is why I say it's going to be a close game. If it gets into a shootout and Matt Ryan gets throwing,
He gets hot.
That's where it's scary, and we're going to miss Joe Flacco because, again, Lamar Jackson's arm in the NFL has yet to be proven.
Right.
Now, again, if the Ravens come out fast like they did against the Bengals, if they come out fast like they did against Oakland, or at least start moving the ball around more, yeah. But it comes down to how fast the offense gets off the ball right out the gates. Because if they start slow, there's no – I just don't know if we can come back from that.
We'll see.
I am picking the Ravens for the record.
Okay. You know how I feel. We had this discussion earlier.
We did.
So, we'll see what happens. But – on to the next one.
The Chargers travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
You could get Smokey
Look, here's
on
the
me.
thing. Here's the thing. I'm not even going to be that petty about
It's
it.
Smokey.
I'm not even going to be that petty about it. Y'all lost. We won. I put on Facebook. Didn't I tell you? I said my Facebook post, and that's all I'm going to say. You guys lost. I'm not going to bring in bottles of liquor. I'm not going to bring in chicken wings, wear a mink coat.
Somebody's
I don't
real
need
salty.
to. I don't need to.
Somebody's
because you know what?
Salty.
I've been there before. We know how to win.
You ate half my chicken wings,
They
though,
were
right?
really, really good. And
That's
we
the
need
shit
to go
I'm
back.
talking about.
But who's going to win?
Steelers.
All right.
Here's why.
Because y'all can't lose 2 in a row. I can't see that.
That's one. We're at home. That's going to be the biggest thing. 2, our offense put up over 500 yards and lost. And we really beat ourselves last week after going back and watching some of the dumb shit that happened on the field. I don't see them losing twice. However, I do see being close because we saw what Phillip Rivers did last week with about 25 completions in a row, and he was torching everything coming. And our secondary is a shit show. So I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't see it being holding it to like 16-13. This is going to be a high-scoring game. A lot of offense, a lot of points. 2 vets came in the same year to draft. Few picks apart. You don't know how many times you're going to see this again, but I just going to give us the edge because we're at home.
There you
go. This could be a shootout because Melvin Gordon's not playing this game. I think that Phillip Rivers is going to have to air it out. Eckler's a good running back. He's more of a receiver. The other guy's not really that proven, Justin Jackson. So I don't see them running the ball that much in this game. I think it's going to be a lot of throws. And I think it's going to be close. I'm going to give it to the Steelers because they're at home and Melvin Gordon's hurt.
You got 2 of the best passers, at least in our generation, playing off against each other. And like you said, Phillip Rivers came off a game that
this was insane, bro.
People haven't seen in. When was the last time when was the record from? I can't even remember.
I don't even know, but the one incompletion was bullshit and it should have been caught.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to say the Steelers going to lose, I can't say that. Again, they're home. I don't see the Steelers losing 2 games in a row. So if I have to, straight pick, I'm going to go with the Steelers. Next up, we move on to the Rams, who travel to Detroit to take on the Lions.
Do we even have to discuss this?
The
Lions,
really.
They're just fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
y'all been rested for a week.
I looked up who we were playing next. I was like, the Lions. Well, they just got shit on by a team that had their backup quarterback playing, so...
This might be the game they rest Gurley.
Yeah, so you start taking... People got little bumps and bruises, sit them down.
I think it's unanimous who we're all picking the Rams. I mean...
Yeah, we could discuss. There's no argument. The lines are in deep shit.
Yeah. Another game we decided we wanted to talk about, but barely have to.
Yeah.
Chiefs traveled to the Raiders. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Dude, Patty Mahomes.
I think it's just going to be another career day for Pat Mahomes against this defense that we just beat.
Dude,
so.
the Raiders are
The Raiders are just not a good team.
They came out hot against y'all. I was like, oh shit, we got a football game. And boom. I was like, oh no, I'm never picking them again.
No.
Now, it is in the black hole. Does that make a difference?
Hell no. Pat Mahomes, didn't he throw like 6 touchdowns and lose? What?
Yeah, I mean,
come on, bro.
No.
They're not keeping up with that offense.
Some people get worried about the black hole, so you gotta...
The players go to the black hole for the careers to die. That's about it. You come and visit, beat your ass, and leave.
Now, the game that, and this is the final game that we're going to talk about, the game that actually is very interesting. Me and him were talking about it. Again, this new culture, this new resurgence of the Browns. Might as well call this a Browns episode, actually, by the end of it. But this resurgence of the Browns, they're taking on the Texans now. There are playoff implications here.
Yeah.
Indirectly. If the Browns can win out or win quite a few games, the Ravens win, maybe lose a few games, it comes down to, I believe, that last game of the year between the Ravens and the Browns. Now, if the Browns can beat the Texans, that shows they're the real deal, in my opinion, because the Texans are one of the better teams out here.
Saw it yesterday.
Yeah. So, I mean, can they win?
You know what? I think this is going to be the highlight game of the week. I think there's going to be more offense in this game than you expect. Baker Mayfield is slinging that ball around like crazy. Deshaun Watson's doing the same thing. They got the running games going.
I think it's a battle against two young greats.
But the Texans defense, that's going to be the first big test for Mayfield.
Yeah.
They are one of the top in the league, and if he goes out there and puts up stats against them, boy's real to me.
Yeah. I'm kind of taking the opposite point of view. I think it's going to be more defensive. I think that Mayfield coming off this big game is going to come down to earth with that Texans defense. I also think the Cleveland Browns are going to find a way to limit the Texans offense. Overall, I do see the Texans winning this game, though.
I do, too.
Yeah, I see the Texans winning as well, but I think this is another close game, another notch on the belt. Say, hey, we can hang with the big boys.
That's it. I want to see it, bro.
I don't know if the Browns are going to win for the sake of the Ravens playoff hopes and also just logic.
Yeah, they ain't going to win out, but they might upset some people.
Yeah, so we're going to do something new, something we're going to start here. The first ever LitTube game ball goes to my boy Baker Mayfield, 258 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 143.9. Ball yours. Hey, listen, Baker Mayfield is playing like a man possessed. He has changed the culture in Cleveland. As an AFC North fan, I am scared of this man, but great things ahead for Cleveland. Sure enough.
2 years playoffs on me. Maybe 2 more years.
2 more? I give it maybe next year.
I give it 2. Pittsburgh's going to be there. You guys are getting better. Cincinnati shit. I mean...
Yeah, you can't have 3 teams in the same year.
Well, we've had 3 teams in the same division in the playoffs before. So it's possible. But I'm going to say it's going to be 2 years after. 2020, they'll be in there.
All right.
I just love how many of the talking heads in the mainstream sports media were flat out wrong about this guy. Compared him to Johnny Manziel, Colin Cowherd over there throwing shade on him.
Shit.
Like, how do these guys get any airtime talking like this?
Give us the airtime. We deserve it.
Here's the thing. Baker Mayfield, like you said, he's changing the culture. I honestly think next year they could be a playoff threat. Certainly the year after that, they're putting the pieces in place. And I also just want to briefly touch on, since Baker Mayfield is our game ball recipient, how he totally just like shit on Hugh Jackson this most recent year. I mean, not giving him the hug, talking shit on him in the post-game press conference. And yeah, there was people in the media that did not like that. They thought that was like not a classy move, but
who cares?
Hey man, like this guy is fired up, man. When he's a competitor, he's fired up, and like sometimes you're gonna do some things that aren't exactly the classy move, but you're out there and the adrenaline's pumping. You're gonna say and do some things. So I like what he's bringing to this Browns team.
Whatever, man. This is football. This isn't tennis, man. Like, dude, take the heat.
Who has to hug after a game?
Yeah,
I don't give a damn if you're my coach or not, bro. Like,
I'll slap your hand, keep it
that's
moving.
it. But I think it might have been Baker Mayfield may not have liked him from the start, and that might be one reason why his ass is gone. You know, you're drafting your franchise quarterback, #1 overall, and he's like, dude, Hugh Jackson ain't it. And that's pretty, you know, it is what it is. But I agree with the MVP. I was a little bit skeptical after thinking on it. I was cool on it, you know. So hopefully next week we have somebody ball out. If it's Baker again, I'm not showing up.
All right. Well, that does it for our show. Whether you're tuning in on thisislitTube.com or YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned because we have a new show, Charm City Beat. We're talking Maryland and Baltimore sports. Me and my boy Jordan. We're going to be doing that. I'm excited. So stay tuned.
Watch out, little bitch. Watch out, little bitch. Hey, watch out, little bitch. You getting mad. I'm getting rich. You getting mad.